Hi, I'm Sally Thibault and welcome to the Stronger, Leaner, Lighter show. Today we're talking about the health benefits of fasting for women over 50. You don't want to miss this. It might change your life. Hello and welcome. Happy Wednesday and happy first week in November. Is it happy? I hope it's happy. Hasn't this happened fast? November. Oh gosh, what a year. What a year. Give me a little comment or a like in there if you just think this crazy year has gone so fast. It's like ooh, feels like I'm on a treadmill all the time. It goes so fast. Today we're talking one of my favorite topics now. Now, I get asked so often now, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, I hit the big 6'5" this year and I get asked this question all the time. What are you doing? Now, I've got to say there's three. There's three things I'm doing that I believe are slowing down at least the aging process. And just recently I went through all kind of blood tests and everything else. And even my doctor said, what are you doing? Oh, well, I'm going to share with you today what I'm doing. But in particular, the one that I had to do a big about face about this. And I'll share that in a minute. So the three significant habits that have changed my life, other than the other two I'm going to share with you a little in a minute, but the three significant things that have changed my life. And number one is tapping and meditation to reduce stress and reframe old stories and beliefs. And can I tell you, Jerry mentioned this to me the other day. He said, you're happy. It's like you're always happy. And, I know it just kind of, since actually making tapping and meditation part of my everyday existence, I don't get as stressed or I don't tend to worry about things. I tend to, get over things quickly. Doesn't mean I don't get stressed. I just get over it quickly. And I think that really has an impact on your body and your health. Second thing I do is I change the way I exercise. I've mentioned on many shows, I've exercised most of my life. I might have missed a couple of months or two, or, through pregnancy or, well, not even pregnancy, maybe after the cesareans. And there's been times when I haven't been well, but it was so much a part of my life. And of course, now I've just cut that all down. Minimum of less than 15 minutes where I focus on strength and HIIT. And I really think that has impacted not only my energy levels, but certainly my strength. And because as we age, that's the thing we must be focused on is our lean muscle mass, building that lean muscle mass, and also strength, posture, form, and flexibility. Really, really important. And of course, that's the focus we do in the Stronger, Leaner, Lighter program. We really focus on that strength, form, and posture, and flexibility. And interestingly enough, for many people, it's challenging to move away from, I'll just go for my hour walk or my hour run. And that's okay if you want to add that as an extra, but it's not where your focus should be, especially over 50. But the number one thing, and I often feel like I have to be a mea culpa with this, mea culpa, is intermittent fasting. And as I've mentioned on numerous shows, I was very hesitant about this because that's not how to me, it sounded like another form of dieting. And of course, I believed when I was teaching fitness and wellness that less calories and more exercise led to weight loss, which was fine when you're 25, not when you're 55. It doesn't work that way. And that 3 meals a day and 2 snacks was a nutritionally sound way of eating. I always breakfast, whether I wanted it or not. Then you have a snack at about, you don't want to leave it too long. This is how we used to think, grab some almonds and or a piece of fruit, then a salad for lunch, and then something to eat around 3 or 4 o'clock, and then dinner. And so you're in this constant state of kind of digesting food. And in fact, what I saw and experienced for myself, that all that did was make me tired, cranky, and especially that excess exercise just led to more injuries. Played netball all my life. And I taught aerobics when we jumped up and down on concrete floors. So my joints, and especially my hips and my knees, I'm very, very mindful of and have been for a long time. And so, you know, what I saw from those days of constant pounding and running, jumping up and down with aerobics, whatever, all that does is lead to more injuries as you get older. And you know, that's what we didn't want to do. You know, for this, we're talking long-term health here. But a number of years ago, I think it's about 7 years ago, when I was first introduced to the concept of intermittent fasting, that's when I recognized I needed to change my mindset around what I believe. Because, you know, you have a tendency to, when you're training in something, as I did when I was doing my fitness training, and my nutritional training was 3 meals a day, 2 snacks, that was like, went in like it was gospel. And so to change that as I got older, well, I don't know. And especially because my focus was teaching women to eat intuitively, I'm like, nah, that intermittent fasting just sounds like restricted eating. I don't want to do that. That just sounds bad. I don't want to do that. But, you know, here's the stats of this. And, you know, as I said, we were in the forefront of the fitness industry, you know, in 1980. I started teaching aerobics in 1979, late 1979, early 80s. And so that was the way we did. Fast, furious, jumping up and down exercise. And then you just ate low fat, low calorie food. But anyway, and so getting people out of that was intuitive eating. However, here's the stats. I'll show you some interesting statistics about folks, especially as we age, coming out of that era of, you know, low calorie, eat 3 meals a day with 2 snacks, walk for an hour, run for an hour, whatever. This is what's happening. I'll show you this. 2/3 of women between the ages of 45 and 60 are now overweight. 2/3. Now, you know, I'm at the top end of that, 65. But these are all the women I taught coming through the fitness industry days. You know, we grew up with the fitness industry. It was our going to the gym and catching up. You know, I remember when my babies were little, I loved going to the gym because they'd go into daycare, and then we'd all do sweaty workouts and sit around in the change room and with towels wrapped around us chatting. It was that sort of social thing. But what's interesting is women in their 50s and 60s tend to gain an average of half kilo, 1.5 pounds, so a little over half a kilo per year. So what causes it? It's often caused by hormonal fluctuations, less lean muscle mass, sleep disturbances, and mood disorders. Now, what's interesting, well, so what's that got to do with food and eating 3 meals a day and 2 snacks? Eating all day long overtaxes our digestive system. Stick with me. It'll make sense in a minute. When you eat, insulin is secreted by the pancreas to move sugar into the cells, the bulk into the liver and skeletal muscle. But when we exceed that storage, we store the rest as fat. So if you're eating all day, you're taxing your digestive system. You're just topping up those calories all day long. And for the average woman in between 45 and 60, she's not doing enough physical activity. Most of us aren't doing enough physical activity for that excess insulin to go anywhere other than into our fat cells. But when we're fasted, our insulin levels are low and we can tap into those fat cells as energy. So when you're constantly feeding the body, it doesn't give you a chance. Your insulin levels are too high and you're laying down that excess in the liver and the skeletal muscle and storing it as fat. Now, but when you're fasted, you tap into the fat cells for energy. The beautiful thing about fasting, it's not just about weight loss. It improves mental clarity because your insulin levels are low. It's like you've got time to think. Fasting also spikes the human growth hormone, which helps with lean muscle mass, which is essential as you get older. The more lean muscle mass, the higher your metabolism, the more likely you're to be less injury because you're stronger. And the other thing about it is that it induces autophagy, and that's the spring cleaning of the cells, allows the cells to detox. So it allows the cells to, as you're in this autophagy, you're not constantly feeded, you're in this fasted state, the body slips into autophagy and starts to kind of do the cleaning out, really, basically. So fasting helps you lower insulin, blood pressure, and reduce the risk for developing Alzheimer's. Now, why this is really important for me and why that's one of the reasons I began looking at intermittent fasting is we have Alzheimer's in our family. And so it was very important for me to look at, okay, how do I reduce the risk of me attracting Alzheimer's? It's in our family. It's obviously in a genealogy, and whether it slows it down or whether I can help reduce it, I don't know. There's still early studies on this because it's only an early practice, really, that they've been studying. I mean, intermittent fasting has been around for a gazillion years. It's a religious practice. Catholics, we fasted for Lent. Muslims fast for Ramadan, and so it's and many ancient religions use fasting as a way to connect spirituality. Now, the other thing about fasting is that several studies support the hypothesis that eating patterns that reduce or eliminate nighttime eating and prolonged nightly fasting result in sustained improvements in human health. So what fasting does, in particular, if you're practicing 16-8, which is the one that I like to recommend, or 12-12, which 12-12 was where you finish eating around 6 and you don't start eating again till 12 hours later. 16 hours, 16-8 is doing that, extending it to 16 hours. So you have an 8-hour window of eating. It stops at nighttime eating. And that's been shown to develop human health. Now, here's some other interesting factors about this. It's reported that fasting improves self-esteem to a greater extent. And it's got a lot to do with the way that your brain processes energy. You're not being kind of weighed down by the body trying to digest food. It also helps reduce the symptoms of anxiety and depression and improve social functioning. This was a really interesting study where they looked at people who suffered from depressive symptoms, and an early effect on fasting on depressive showed an improvement in mood, alertness, and a sense of peacefulness. And I guess where we're kind of going with this is that it's like the body has an opportunity to kind of rest. You're not trying to digest food and your insulin levels and blood sugar levels aren't spiking and peaking. You're allowing that autophagy to happen. You're building that lean muscle mass. So it has an impact on the brain at the same time and the moods. Now, a lot of questions I get asked is, but does it make you hungrier? Well, a study published in the Clinical Journal of Nutrition found that morning fasting reduced concentrations of ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, during the afternoon relative to lunch consumed. In other words, when you fasted, your hormone ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, seemed to be somewhat satiated, seemed to be lowered. And I find this for myself, that with intermittent fasting, I'm not hungry by the time I'm feeling the hunger pangs around about 11 o'clock, and that's where I have a protein smoothie, but I certainly don't eat any more over the next period of time. I still, have a salad for lunch, and I might have, some hummus or something mid-afternoon, or a piece of fruit, and then we'll have dinner. We're trying to finish dinner by 7. Otherwise, because I get up at between 4:30 and 5, and, I'm extending that fasting quite late. So we're trying to finish around 7 so I can break that fast at 11. But it certainly doesn't make me any hungrier by practicing intermittent fasting. So I'm just going to share with you how you can start intermittent fasting. But I do want a quick shout out to our sponsors, Nas Cosmetics. Please hop on Jen's page, Nas Cosmetics. She's got a great new program that can help people who are looking for something a little bit extra to do. You know what I mean? If you're having to, we're calling it the Great Resignation, aren't they? The Great Resignation. So hop on Nas Cosmetics and just see what Jen has for anybody who's part of the Great Resignation. 45% of people look like they will be leaving their jobs before the end of this year. So people are looking for something different. And of course, the wonderful new skin products, which are just great for my skin. Oh my God, I love these products. Truly, truly, truly fantastic. These new skin products for just, as I'm aging, I'm okay with aging. I don't want to look at So when I'm eating well and fasting and exercising, I also want to make my skin look brighter. All right, you can check out all those on those links. So how do you start intermittent fasting? Number one, slowly. If you've never tried intermittent fasting before, I would suggest 16-8 or 12-12, but over 2 or 3 non-consecutive days. If you've never tried it before, 2 or 3 non-consecutive, so maybe a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You might want to do a Monday and a Thursday if you just want to start 2 days a week. Try it. And as you get more comfortable with it, feel the benefits, add 1 more day. Number 2, what to eat. Protein, essential. Most women don't eat enough protein, so protein is really important. Good fats. And, coming from the fitness industry days where we were all low fat, man, that was such the wrong thing to do for us. And so I'm a great believer in good quality fats, lots of them, like avocado, olive oil, coconut oil, oily fish, any of those things that you think in terms, I like to think in terms of that good quality fats. Is so good for your skin, so good for bone health. It's just brilliant. And of course, the green leafy vegetables, where you need your omega-3, your antioxidants. So you want to be looking at green leafy vegetables, preferably ones that are in season. You don't want to be buying out of season. The gut gets used to those green leafy vegetables. And I noticed just we were at the markets this week that the vegetables are actually changing again. And it's interesting, isn't it? So this week we bought a lot of kale. I made some kale chips. Delicious. Kale chips. We noticed a lot more asparagus, some broccoli this year, and it seemed like the cauliflower was coming to an end. So you kind of look at what's in season. You want to be buying what's in season, and sadly, it looks like lettuce is on its way out. That time of year, I guess. So those are the things that can help you. Let me know if I can help you in any way with introducing intermittent fasting into your life. Believe me, it's a game changer. And I do want to just say before we, I do have a free gift. It's 4 free scripts for tapping to help you reduce stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. Brilliant for lowering the stress levels, which lowers cortisol levels, which reduces visceral belly fat. And my brand new Tapping to Lose Weight Effortlessly script is in there. And I will just pop the link into the, because that's not going to work very well there. I'm going to pop the link into the comments, and so that you can access that. But that's for the 4 free scripts, and I'll pop the link in the comments below. So I hope that's helped. And introducing intermittent fasting and becoming an advocate of it as I do. And it is one of the simplest things you can possibly do to increase your health, your energy, vitality, especially over the age of 50, increase your focus and your mental clarity. And you know what? It's so simple. You simply skip a meal. It's not that hard. It's easy. It's easy, easy, easy. Also, to remember that I do have a YouTube channel with lots of videos on everything from tapping to how to release belly fat, you name it. That is in the on my YouTube channel, and we're uploading new videos each and every week. So that's there as well. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being on the show today. Let me know if you're going to try intermittent fasting and if you need any help with it. And it truly is. It's just one of those simple things that can help you reverse, slow down, aging, or at very least help you age well. I look forward to seeing you next week on the Stronger, Leaner, Lighter show, where I have a brand new guest that I'll be introducing. I'll see you soon.